instead of being afraid, or instead of resisting him, they give him praise. They say, "Oh, beautiful, wonderful White Sands boy, do let us pass. We are going to our father, the sun, to obtain weapons and power to slay the monsters and save the people of the world." And White Sands boy says, "Well, very well." He is quite flattered by the praise they've given them, so he says, "Well, go ahead."
Sorry, neighbours. Okie dokie. I'll take a moment. You've got to be strategic. You've got to be cunning. You've got to be intelligent. You've got to be... I really want to see more cynicism from you guys. I really do. Your utopianism frightens me on your behalf. Your willful naivety, your willingness to shove your head under the duvet and hide from the demons. And I'm like, there's no protection in that fucking duvet, you know? The claws get right through. You've no chance like that. You stand and fight, you have a chance. This insistence on pretending that you don't know very well how the world works is exhausting. It's exhausting. You know how the world works because you've lived with evil. You've slept with evil. If you're here, you probably were shagging a demon for a couple of years. You know evil inside out. Stop pretending. It doesn't, if we accept that there's evil in the world, it doesn't mean that we're defeated. It doesn't mean that it means more evil will come into the world. It means that we can despair and cry and then take action and do something about it. It's this iteration, this moment, this culture war, this spiritual war, where we're being convinced, no, you never could. You could never do it. You were always incapable. You were always weak. Nonsense. Nonsense. We're the survivors. We're the risk takers. We're the resilient ones. We're the bad motherfuckers who smash the fucking demons' heads in with rocks. Whether the demon showed up as a jaguar or a crocodile or whatever, or a hippo or whatever it was. We did that. That's in us. We've been brainwashed into thinking that we're not lions, but like little tiny ginger kitty cats. That ain't us. It's not true. It's a myth. So every time you turn away and every time you succumb to fear, a little bit of your self-respect dies. A little bit of your sense of who you are dies. A little bit of your pride dies. Pride is not a bad thing. I'm sick of this fucking pride is sinful thing. Fuck you. What do you want? Fawning submission? Fuck you. That's no way to live. That's not a philosophy for life. Arrogance isn't either. But being proud of who you are and of what you've done is a virtue. That's master morality. Embrace it. Stop apologizing. Stop apologizing. Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop apologizing for what you want.
He said, I give you power. Oh, I give you power. All you gotta do is believe the scriptures, and you can receive this power.
And I'm worried about America. And I'm worried about Christianity. Why are we talking about? Is that the small legalism? Is that the sentimentality that we're talking about? It's a good question. Is the sunset sentimental? Yes, if there's not a strong reality behind it, where men are men and women are women, and where we are together, also having bodies. Otherwise, we are nobodies.
If a society socializes people to be fearful of the future and overawed by uncertainty, the masses will welcome or openly call for authority figures to protect them.
Feel a sense of dysphoria and increasingly become aware that they are a population in decline, that they are an empire in decline, and that can be a bad thing in the sense that it can make people depressed and it can make people despondent, but it can be a good thing in that it can at least permit people to understand the world, to make sense of what's going on, and only if you do that can you even begin to try and do something about it, whatever that might happen to be.